start talking about it. All right, game number 2 will be Wild Growth and Luxury Gaming with Wild Growth up 1-0. And we saw game number 1 on the Garden of Terror. So obviously we can't have that. We're also not going to have Haunted Mines, Dragonshire, Blackheart's Bay, Sky Temple, or Tomb of the Spider Queen. Sorry, ladies and gentlemen, we are going to Cursed Hollow. And I have the draft here, and I think it's the right one. Yes, it's totally the right one, so let's get to it. Because time is of the essence, and nobody likes to wait. So, first pick, first ban, going to Team Luxury, which is red. And they are saying we still don't like Brightwing. So, have another Brightwing ban. That's okay. Wild Growth says we still don't like Kerrigan, so have a Kerrigan ban. And, this is what I was expecting last round. I was really expecting to see the Sun King himself, but Team Luxury finally will show us how to play Killfast here for Cursed Hollow. Flip side, Sylvanas is going to be the return, and the unprepared master himself, Illidan, will be joining the ranks of Wild Growth. So this is where you would really expect to see either a Brightwing, who's banned, or an Uther, who isn't banned. So we saw an Uther. That's a really that's the second time now Luxury Gaming has done that combo, and well, it didn't work for the first time. Hopefully it'll work this time. To go with the Uber, the Uther is a Nubarak, not Uber. Although Uther and Uberak could be an Uberak, but I digress. Muradin will be the follow-up here from Wild Growth into a Rhaegar. So if they can't get the Uther, they're going to go for the Rhaegar. And last pick actually is setting up very nicely, I think, for a Tassadar as well, because you have a very nice dive team, but you need someone on the back for some utility, but we'll have to see what that will be. Jaina somehow made it this far into the draft without being picked. So a Song of Fire and Ice, as Gillyweed likes to see. Give me your Gillyweed friends in chat if you're a subscriber. And the last pick, Zagara. Don't see a lot of Zagara on NA side anymore, but there she is. So, Illidan will play around her all day, but she will be able to hold down lanes extremely well, I want to say. Especially if you put her with a KO or a Jaina, but with this kind of lineup, I would expect to see a Zagara kind of solo. Zagara, Uther, KO, I would expect to see solo with a roaming and Uberak Jaina, but we'll have to see if that will come to pass. The world's craziest last pick for a Wild Growth, give us an Abathur, because it's Abathur. Yep, it's Abathur. So, fun. Let's see what game number 2 has in store, as we're going to be jumping right into it, ladies and gentlemen. Cursed Hollow, today with Game Sounds, brought to you by FourCourtJester and ESL Open. Yes. Yeah. All right. Game, please. All right, good. Wild Growth and Luxury with Wild Growth up 1-0. And once more on the left-hand side, Collusion, Jordo, Faux Rest, Zox, and Ock Derek going to be making up Wild Growth. On the other side, Kabink, Mr. X, where's the Chaos Cinder, Rasako, and Malagor are going to be making up the team of Luxury, who need to pull out a win here to go to a game number 3.
5, 4, 3.
Is that Zagara or a Moose? It's a Super Moose. It's a Zerg Moose. I've always thought that myself, but there it is. All right, we're off to the races, I think. Blue team actually hasn't even left their base because they're going to try their hand at body blocking once more. Disclaimer, kids, you can try this at home, but you might be laughed at. It doesn't really get you too much, and it's a heck of a lot of effort for very little reward. Are Game Sounds actually muted? Do not tell me that. Stop being a troll. No. Maybe? No, they're not muted. Stop being a jerk. Oh, Zox. Watching his own replay. Trolling the Jester. How dare he? All right, Faux Rest is Abathur. So I talked a little bit about what I expect to see for a roaming comp out of Team Luxury, but when you have an Abathur, you don't roam. You don't have the manpower to roam. You're down an entire body. But they might not even need it at this point, because the Illidan Abathur is doing so much work bottom lane until, of course, Rasaka comes into the bottom and says, nope, and the first blood will be Sylvanas. But if you think about it, we do have Rhaegar and Abathur to go on top of Jordo, who's playing Illidan. So they didn't get Uther, but it's still a very heavy dependent upon Illidan. Illidan has to make it work. If he doesn't, this comp is going to fall flat on its face. So we have to have faith that Jordo and his team have practiced this enough that they know the limits, and they're not going to get caught for some of this, and it'll do good work. Otherwise, we're going to game 3 because it's a highly dependent comp upon team synergy, Jordo himself on the Illidan, and if it doesn't work, well, we'll find out. Let's take a look at some of the talents. Pressurized land, so the range of Symbiote Spike Burst increased for the Abathur. Not a lot of people like to see the Abathur these days. AFK Abathur, report, all that kind of jazz in solo queue, which is sad, but it's the reality right now. Level 4, we're probably going to see attack speed. Level 7, I'm not entirely too sure what we'll see, but level 13, I think, we might see the health return on Spike Burst. We might, because if you're going to go for the range of Spike Burst, you might as well go for the health return as well. And health return on Jordo, who has first aid and built-in lifesteal, plus a Rhaegar heal, will go a long way to making sure that he doesn't die. So that's what I expect to see. There's the Adrenal Overload for the 25%. We'll have to see if that will come to fruition. The other lanes are really just not very interesting, at least this early on. But we will have a tribute spawning, I think, right now. Nope. Yep. Next tribute spawning right now. There it is. So it's plus or minus 15 seconds from the 230 mark. So it's anywhere from 215 to 240. So it's a really good bet to say 230 or so. Level 4s are out. We don't actually have the first Beetle build. This is the first time we've seen a Nubarak without triple Beetle. He went Regen Master. He still has Beetle at 4, probably Beetle at 7, and Illidan gets just melted down by the CC available to Team Luxury here. Nice body blocks coming in from Kabink as well. Will take down the Rhaegar, and now Collusion and Zox are basically going to be forced off this point, and this 4-man collapse was real. Faux Rest knows exactly what to do with the Abathur. There was a fight bottom, he went to another lane. He's trying to push it, he's trying to soak. Unfortunately, the fight ended very quickly, and he's going to be forced into another lane. But Kael'thas wasn't even there. Mr. X did get some really good experience in that mid unopposed. He's now going top, and he's going to continue getting some experience for his team, and that should keep us about a quarter to a half level ahead of the opponents. Especially if you're going to start pressuring the lanes with some mercs. Now, we do got Rhaegar off doing his own, but we should have another tribute spawning in just a moment. Here's the talents for you again. Let's take a closer look at them, because Jordo just finished up Bruisers with Immolation and Shadow Shield. That's a very standard way to go here for the Illidan. Level 7, you're going to see First Aid. But bottom lane, look at this. With that Zagara, with the Cinder, with Rasako, there's no Illidan here, so there's no flak to get in the way of these Giants, and the Giants are just going to start working on this gate, or at least they would if Zox wasn't Sylvanas. Sylvanas is the best counter you can do to heavy Merc crushes anywhere. So really good stuff out of them. It's still about a quarter to a half level advantage. Oh, Mr. X finds Faux Rest behind the lane, and if Derek wasn't here, that would have been a very squishy dead worm. But Tribute is top. Abathur is now going to go straight bottom, and he's going to try to soak this lane as best he can, because that is what a good Abathur does. Level 7 is Needle Spine for the Abathur, so range and damage of Symbiote increased by 20%. It just means that he's going to be able to hit people that are much farther away, much easier. We actually give up the Tribute, and if you notice, I mean, Malagor, he knows that Abathur is here because the Locusts. So he's going to continue pushing. There's not much an Abathur can do. Top lane is being soaked and defended by Mr. X, so these mercs are going to get pretty much no value, and the rest of the bruisers were being taken by the rest of Luxury. The problem is they didn't finish it, and because they're not on the map, because they're not on the map, the gank came in from Wild Growth, and they actually stole them out. That is not good at all for Luxury. They really needed those bruisers for this next camp, because they want to be putting up as much pressure as they can. They want to be soaking and trying to combat the Abathur soak as much as they can. That being said, they've done a really good job. Level 9 to just over level 8. So almost a full level. We went from a quarter to a half to almost a full level. Mr. X is looking for Abathur back there. He's not going to find him because of, obviously, Abathur's bottom. But, so again, if we had these bruisers mid instead of, getting jacked like that, I think we would be in a much stronger position to put a 2 out of 3 tribute right here into the pockets of Luxury. As it is, they're not in as strong a position, but if you look at the positioning on the map, there's still so much blue far away from this. Cinder's not going to be able to finish that channel, but the positioning here is much quicker for Luxury, and they're about to hit 10 as well. So they're okay with this, because the passive default experience gain will put them to 10 in the next 30 seconds or so, and if the fight prolongs, they'll have ultimates, and they'll get they'll win the fight. As it is, they don't need to prolong it, and they win the fight anyways. They get the tribute, and they're level 10. Here's FourRest once more into the top lane, soaking, pushing, trying to get as much for his team as he can, and he knows he's in danger, so he's going to go once more into the bottom lane. This is a classic Abathur ping pong, and if you don't see it enough, take notes. Every time there's a tribute in one lane, go to the farthest lane you can and soak and push. Ping pong back and forth. It's a really fantastic thing. Now, with this boss going down, it's very likely that Wildgrowth knows about it. They don't care. They're doing their own boss, but they also, more importantly, can't really contest. They're not level 10. They're about to be level 10, but that's not the same as actually being level 10. So it will be a boss trade going back and forth. Derek is going to have his work cut out for him, but both teams are just biding their time. This is a very important top tribute for Luxury because this is a possible curse, and with a boss moving down the top, either Luxury has to deal with the boss, or sorry, either Wildgrowth has to deal with the boss, or they have to deal with the tribute. They can't do both. Fortunately, the same is the same down here. FourRest is pushing with this boss, which makes it a bit more effective. But yeah, they want to go for the curse, and they're going to try their darndest. We'll talk about the heroics in a second, but there's the Phoenix already zoning out the rest of Wildgrowth. FourRest goes into the back with that clone. It is the ultimate clone in there, in that with Jordo as well for that Maw. It was a good Maw, got rid of the clone. It kept Illidan out. Unfortunately, they didn't get a kill out of it either. Web Wrap even onto the Illidan, trying to keep him down. Mirrodin, however, will be the one to drop. Jordo has been controlled so very well, and this combo did not work whatsoever for Wildgrowth. They're going to come out of that one 3.5 or 3 1/4. I don't remember what you get for clones. Kills, and there's actually no, it's not even there. Maybe you don't get anything for clones, or at least on the replay it says you don't get anything for clones. Either way, 3 kills for nil. Curse and Fort, and now they're pressing into this keep. This bottom golem, however, has done phenomenally well because it has been supported out by the Abathur with those locusts, and it is going to take down the gate before it finally drops. Definitely a little bit more potent into the top because of the curse, but had this actually not been a curse for Luxury, I don't think their golem would have done nearly as well. But either way, they did a really good team fight, and let's take a quick look at some of the talents as they're going to rotate and try to take as many forts as they can. So there's the ultimate evolution. That's what we saw. Both Illidans went down into the Maw. Really nice work by Malagor, I gotta say. Ancestral, the Metamorphosis, Avatar, and Wailing Arrow. Nothing really out of the ordinary there. Web Blast we saw again to control the Illidan, and it really worked between the Maw and the Web Blast. Illidan got virtually nothing done that fight. That's not it. Majari Maw, the Phoenix, which we saw as well for the zoning potential, Summon Water Elemental, and the Divine Shield as well. So the Divine Shield, I don't think we've seen a Storm tonight, which is okay. You don't have to always see a Storm, but it's been a really nice set of engages going the way of Luxury. Luxury is actually up 6 kills to nil. They got their 13, their opponents don't, but that's about to change. So it's not a big window of opportunity to fight with that talent tier advantage, and they're about to lose it. In fact, the 13s are also here. Mutalisk, Flamethrower, Sprint, Shrink Ray, and the Chitinous Plating. So that makes the Nubarak a little bit tankier, because the shield amount by 40%. 40%'s not something to sneeze at. That's a heck of a lot, especially for a talent, but we've seen Burning Rages, we've seen Spell Shields, and now we've seen Chitinous Plating tonight. There's not a lot of magic damage on Wildgrowth on the blue side, so that's why they don't need a Spell Shield. So the Chitinous makes a lot of sense. There's the Soma Transference at 13 that I was expecting to see from Abathur. So the Burst Heal on Spike, Burst, which is a funny sentence, heals the host. Don't look at the number, but it heals the host for an amount of health per enemy hero hit. And Illidan's going to be diving a lot of heroes. So Illidan on the head not only has an increased range of Spike Burst, but now has a health return and attack speed, which is more health return, and Needle Spine, which is more damage. This is the big synergy of this comp for the Illidan, because the Abathur Illidan comp definitely works when it's supported out well. Unfortunately, it just hasn't hit its stride yet. Feral Lunge, Sixth Sense, Thunderstrike. Yes, this is what I saw in Europe today. Thunderstrike with the Thunder Burn and the Reverberation. I have to wonder if it's going to be the Get the Axe at level 16. I really do. But Thunder Burn is a great dueling talent for this Mirrodin. If he can jump into the front line or the Anubarak charges in by himself, that Thunderstrike is going to do so much damage against whoever he catches. And of course the Spell Shield, I guess at level 13, because there's a heck of a lot of magic damage on the side of Luxury. So while we were talking about all that, Tribute has spawned. 14 apiece, still about a level between the sides, but Collusion, trying to do the interference that he can, doesn't quite live up to the mark, but he did stop out this channel. Where's Illidan? Not Illidan, where's Abathur? Abathur's bottom. I don't know where Octaric is going. It looks like they're just going to give up this Tribute, which may or may not be the best call. They're both level 15. In fact, there's actually no level difference anymore. I'm going to give that to Abathur right there. There goes the Farsight. Does notice the entire enemy team as if they didn't know. And eventually they will give up this Tribute. Eventually. They're just all trickling away. Jordo has no interest in the fight. He's off merking. We also got Zox and Ock left the fight really super early. So the intentions were very clear here from Wild Growth. They weren't interested in capturing this, but they were trying to delay it as much as possible. So they got some bricks top. All right, what are they going to do with that? It doesn't look like it's going to get supported, and there's no rush for this boss. Because Stone Bros and a boss pushing down a lane is terrifying. But it will be at least top boss started. I thought maybe it would be a trade. And yes, I think it actually will be a trade. They don't really know. Wild Growth doesn't seem to know what they want to do. They do have the level experience advantage. They don't have the level advantage, I'm sorry. They have the experience advantage. They're about to hit 16. If they got up to this top lane at 16, they'd have a heck of an advantage trying to kill out these guys doing this boss. The problem is, they're just not going to do it. So it will be a trade. Nice. They will trade out. 16 is achieved. Adrenaline boost. Movement speed. That is dangerous on an Illidan, I'll tell you that. Earth Grasp, Totem, Blood, and Stone Form. So a little bit, so it's not going to be give him the axe or get the axe or whatever that talent is. Basically the Executioner version of Mirrodin. It will be the Stone Form. Now both sides actually have to defend against these bosses because keeps are on the line. And nobody really wants to give up keep. Anubarak, however, is going to grab this Tribute. Sneaky, sneaky. But that's also a very big power play next time because it will be 2 out of 3. And that is going to basically force the hand here of Wild Growth. So there goes the Golem. Doesn't really get anything. This will basically do the same. It'll just hit the fort a few times and go down. Level 16 for Luxury. Blood for Blood. The double Hunter Killer, well, the double Mutalisk at this point. Ignite, which is the level 16 dream for Kael'thas. Mr. X is basically as powerful as he wants to be now. Northern Exposure for the vulnerability, and Benediction for the rewind, basically, on Risako. They do pick up their Giants. It's going to start pushing out this lane. FourRest has really been pushing out this bottom lane pretty consistently, although now, as you see, he's going to be up here. He's going to soak lane, but still help his team, and at the same time push it with those Locusts. This fort is surprisingly healthy. We'll see if the Locusts can do anything about it. We do actually throw out the Farsight. We find out that the Bruisers are on deck, and the Bruisers are now going to be marching down mid. This next Tribute should be on deck relatively soon. I want to say in the next 10 to 15, maybe 30 seconds. It should be coming up. But 17-16, it's still basically anybody's game at this point. 6 kills to 0. Wild Growth still looking for their own first blood. Here comes the Tribute, and it's going to be bottom. It's towards, actually neither team. This is the middle spawn. But the map positioning is actually a little bit better here for Wild Growth. They got the Party Bush. Can they use the Party Bush for a kill? I'm not entirely too sure they can. I see a question about Sylvanas. Level 1 talent for Sylvanas is Barbed Shot. So 200% against minions and mercenaries. There you go. Zox throwing out the Silence Arrow. They actually throw a lot of damage on top of Collusion. Big shield on top of that Jaina, who sprints one way, comes back. The web wrap. They almost killed the Illidan, but they web wrapped it. Why did they web wrap it? Oh, Jordo has come back so healthy, and now they're starting to actually wreck and get those kills. 2 kills, looking for 3, and that will be it for Jordo and crew. 3 kills out of nowhere. That web wrap was disastrous, but the whole fight itself did not go the way of Luxury. The Jaina kind of sprinted one way, came back to another. Jordo didn't get CC'd whatsoever. The big burst looked like it missed everything. I'm going to give him a wow for that, but man, all of a sudden, 3 kills, 6. And the experience lead has really ramped up here for Wild Growth and crew. The next tribute is a guaranteed curse. But just, all right, Wild Growth, signs of life. The Illidan comp has hit its stride. That's basically all I can say about it. And Mr. X hitting that 16 with those bombs just wasn't enough, it seems. Just wasn't enough. So Collusion and Zox are going to be holding down mid. They got to be feeling good after that fight because the next fight is going to be 20 to probably 18. And that is a very similar situation to game number 1, wasn't it? That was 20 to 17. And, you know, when we saw that before, Wild Growth won. If they get the 20 advantage and they absolutely wipe this next fight with a curse, that could be game. That could absolutely be game. If they don't wipe, but they still get the curse, it's going to be keeps. If Wild Growth actually falls in this next fight, it's going to be keeps. Whoever basically 5-man wipes the other team, if it's going to happen, wins right here. And right now, we don't even actually have any contest going up. Is Luxury going to give up a curse at 17.5 minutes? They are, because they can't contest. It's 20 to 18. They can't fight it. This is disastrous. They were winning this entire match, more or less. And now they're down 2 levels. Level 20. Oh, wow. It's the hive mind. So Zox is going to be 2 hats. Zox and Collusion. They both have hats. As long as they stay near each other, it's going to be double the fun for Abathur. Goes in. Look at this. Zox is... okay, well... There goes the dwarf. It's not going to be a kill there. Ma comes out. The invulnerability is going to keep Malagor up. Sylvanas dies off camera. Cinder going for Octeric in the back. Now Jordo in the front. He's actually not going to... Well, all right, he will. Apparently the Rhaegar still had the Ancestral. That's right, because it failed just then. So 2 kills, 0. At a 2-level deficit. Once more, Luxury showing their grit and their ability to take these fights when there's really no business of them taking it. And they defend the curse. 10 seconds left. Oh, they did not lose a keep. That is super impressive. They lost no keep, took 2 kills with a 2-level deficit. Abathur can try all he wants, but it's not going to be a keep whatsoever. Apparently, I dropped for a moment there. So sorry, guys, but we should be back. And now Luxury's going to get this top boss. 18, 19 minutes top boss.
And so the curse
that might actually take a keep. I'm on the fence. It might take a keep. But super well played. Luxury coming back out of it. 19, now about to hit 20. They've once more proven that even at a deficit, they can still take these fights. They patch up the experience. The bosses are traded out once more, but their next team fight is just going to be much better for them if they can do it again. So what do they get at 20 here? We didn't even finish the last one. Storm Shield, Bolt, Rewind, Bolt. Cool. Hardened, Redemption, and Triple Bolt. All right. Mobility is the name of the game. Mobility is absolutely the name of the game. This bottom golem is likely not to take the keep. Top one, nope, didn't. Actually, this bottom one might get the keep. Oh, it's going to be close. Oh, it's going to be close. He stopped to cast Roots. Oh, so very close. Look at that. So very few hit points. Abathur might be able to actually backdoor that later, but he doesn't have any of the talents, like no Locust Brood. It's only locusts that he generates himself, so maybe not. Oh, actually something killed it. What killed it? There's nothing here to kill it. Whatever, it's dead. All right, so keep. Wild Growth, once more, will be able to start putting up more and more pressure because not only do they have the Abathur Locusts who can keep pushing down a lane, but now they're going to have catapults nibbling at the core every now and then. So, all right. Now, Wild Growth did go 3 for 3 for the curses. They are done with curses. They're 0 out of 3 for the tributes. 2 out of 3 still remains. So if Luxury can once more take a fight, I think if they can win one more fight and curse, they can just go right through top. Kill this, and we would tie up the game. I think that could actually happen. If they can do what they did last time when they were 2 levels down, level 20 to 18, and still get kills, they have a very good chance of bringing this into a win. But if they don't, and they get wiped, I mean, it's going to be the similar issue. I mean, Wild Growth is just going to come right up through middle, or right up through bottom, and go for the win. So this is a very important fight. I assume at this point, Luxury wants to fight this. And it does look like they will. They could give it up for free because there's no real inherent danger. But they've successfully navigated around the maze here, and they've come up behind Collusion. They're looking for the body blocks, but Kabink, he's taking some damage. In with the Illidan. That's not Illidan. Who did they web wrap? I have no idea who they web wrap, but he's probably going to be very dead very soon. Oh, it was oh, it was the clone. They web wrapped the clone. They web wrapped the Anubarak clone. Oh my god, what a really good Devouring Maw. That is a money Maw. FourCourtJester is still, he's going to drop. Jordo blinks forward. He's looking for the kill on top of Jaina. Can't quite get it. Rasako is going to be low on the hit points, but Sylvanas is going to drop. There goes the Kale, and now it's a lot of red versus a few of the blue, but the blue is still alive. Jordo and Collusion, they're not dying, and Kabink, oh, finally will take down the Illidan, but now Collusion and the Dwarf, he has the Abathur hat. Rasako is still here. He resurrects, and Luxury will take the fight. 4 kills to 3 and the clone. Despite the fact they web wrapped the wrong thing, they still took the fight. 4 people are dead. It's only the Abathur. This could be game. It's a 3-man push. It's a 3-man push. Is that enough though? Do they have enough damage to go right through this keep? I'm not sure that the timing is going to be here. They only have really Jaina, Illidan, not Illidan, Jaina, Uther, Anubarak. They can't go for core because they're still going to be here when everybody resurrects. They can't go for core, so they're going to go for keeps. They just lost top keep though during their curse. FourCourtJester is bottom lane laughing with these locusts and pushing with these catapults, but 2 keeps to 2. Luxury though, again, taking a massive fight, but they can't end it because they lost too much damage in the fight. That's gotta... Zox just silence arrowed. Yes. I guess he thought they might be taking the Giants. It was a blind silence arrow. Didn't quite get anything for it, but that's going to be down for another 80 seconds. So if Luxury had Kael'thas up, if they had Zagara up, I think they could have ended. But because they only really had the damage of Anubarak and Jaina, they didn't. Or at least they didn't try to. They took the safer route and went for the keeps. Not a bad idea, but the game's not over. And it still could be anybody's game because they lost a keep during their curse as well. It's 2 keeps to 2. I thought maybe the game was going to be over in that last team fight, and I really did actually expect to see Luxury win right there, but without the damage to end the game, this could still go either way. Well, how many ults do we have up? 4 to 5. We have 30 seconds left on the Wailing Arrow. Look at this siege damage. Immense numbers of siege damage from Abathur. And Abathur's actually, he's going to come in. That's FourCourtJester. That's a double dwarf going into the back. Mr. X has to blink away. We have do we have enough ults? The Maw is going to go down. Mr. X in the back is still getting picked up by FourCourtJester's clone. The shield is out. Rasako's trying to keep the Kael'thas alive. Derek is there. Somebody got web wrapped. I don't even know who, but the clone is doing so much work. Kael'thas is down. Rhaegar is actually going to be the trade, but Zox is going to go down here as well. Collusion and Jordo are looking for Cinder. They are going to pick it up with the help of the Abathur hat. And now Collusion and Jordo are sticking together. They have 2 Abathur hats to their name. They will trade out kills. It's now going to be an Illidan up against Kabink and Rasako, but 4 kills to 3. And Rasako, I think, still has that redemption. Jordo's going to have to run for his life. And it's basically nothing's going to get done with these kills. Such immeasurable team fights here at the end, but we do got some Stone Bros working on the core. Abathur is really doing a good work of keeping these lanes pushed because this is a catapult lane for both sides, but it's being pushed all the way here to the core. Same with the bottom. Like, these creep waves are just continually pounding up against Luxury. No permanent core damage yet, but everybody's going to respawn and we're going to go right back to it. This is still anybody's game. They are trading out so incredibly evenly. And FourCourtJester, with that dwarf, he had double dwarf in that last fight. That clone basically soloed out Kael'thas for free. They ignored the clone. They basically couldn't get right through all the hit points of a base level 23 Mirrodin. And Kael'thas, like, he burned out his blink, they burned out the Divine Shield to keep him up, and he still went down first in the fight anyways. It's amazing. 26 minutes in, level 23 apiece. We have a boss. This is good for Wild Growth. They have a boss. If they force a fight now, nobody can defend a boss. If they force a fight now, there will be nobody left to defend a boss, and a 26-minute boss with an Abathur will take down that core. But look at this, Luxury. They're not even going to be chasing. There's no Wild Goose Chase here. They're going for core themselves. Abathur is throwing out the shield on top of the core. Everybody's backing him. This is going to be the fight to end all fights. And wow, already Jaina coming in from the back, the Socks and the Silent Arrow. The Devouring Maw, however, will stop the defense at least a little bit. Here comes Illidan, and Mr. X is going to drop. Malagor has no escapes ready, and Kablink is now going to be sandwiched by the rest of Wild Growth, and that is probably going to be game with the team wipe because no core damage versus an entire boss at 26 minutes. Wild Growth somehow bringing this back and winning this match to go 2-0 up against Team Luxury. I am relatively speechless at that. Rasako, your attempts are noble, but they will not get you anywhere. And that's core. That is core. Good game, ladies and gentlemen. Good game. Whew. All right. Wild Growth will 2-0 their way to the round of 8 here in the ESL Americas Open League. Really incredible set of games. It could have went either way. Either way. The rush for the core was good. I think that was the right call, but they got caught from behind. Jaina got instigated with an explosion arrow. And when you kind of lose a teammate at 26 minutes instantly like that, it's a heck of a blow to the morale. And like the core, they knew that golem was going to do work. Already, Wild Growth was going up to the second golem to try to seal the deal. They had to go for core. They just bungled the last team fight, and they got caught with their pants down. Jaina went out very quickly. Kel'Thas went out very quickly. And that was it. That was it. So congratulations, Wild Core. Game 2, 2-0. And they will move on to the round of 8, which is great timing because we're 6 minutes late for our next match, which will be done live. I'm going to talk to the teams, and we're going to get going for the last set of best of 3 of the night, ladies and gentlemen. Thank you so much for joining us here tonight for the ESL Americas Open. We will see you for Monsoon taking on Team Eclipse coming up next.